Today I'd like to show you how to use Bridge and Photoshop, both which are part of the Adobe Cloud, to create a panorama. And it's quite simple. So I'm going to go in Bridge to Tools, Photoshop, and Photo Merge. And it's going to come up with some choices on the left hand side. I'm just going to leave it as auto, assuming the program will pick up what it needs to. And then in the source files, for some reason it keeps populating with these 3 documents, which I definitely don't want. So I just clicked the first one, held down the shift key, clicked the third one, and I'm going to click remove. And I'm just going to leave it to blend images together, and then I'm going to browse to the files. Now I have these files that I put together earlier, and I suggest you do this. I created a folder, put the files I wanted to use in, and they're all pieces of a scene. And I wasn't super careful when I took them about making sure that I didn't go up or down. It used to be that you couldn't move around or it would create real problems. Now the software is so sophisticated that it can easily adjust it for you, although I wouldn't go crazy on it. So I'm going to click on the first one, hold the shift key down, click on the last one because I want to use all of them. Even though they overlap quite a bit, I'm going to use them anyway. It'll adjust accordingly. And then I'm going to go down in the right hand corner and click OK. And they all show up there, and then I'm going to click OK. And let's see what happens. It's been a little wonky the last few times I've tried this morning, so hopefully this will work. I think one of the reasons why it has been is because these files are huge. They were from my Canon 70D, and I'm not sure my computer is too happy with me using all these files at once. Now here they are together. Looks pretty good. Don't see any overlapping showing up. So what I'm going to do is remove the transparent, which won't show up. It's this checkerboard area. What it means is that it's just basically when you drop it on, say, a color background, that area that's a checkerboard will pick up on that color. But the edges are jagged, so I'm going to use my marquee tool, which we also call the marching ants. It's the square with the little dashes. And I'm going to click in the top left hand corner, scroll down to above the transparency, and go over to the right. And when I've got the area I want, I'm going to do image crop. Now it keeps throwing this little piece up here, but it's not actually there. It just has something to do with the settings because of the large size of the file, so you can ignore that. And I'm going to do a file save as, and I'm going to save it as Pano1. I would normally give it a name that is more appropriate for this, like Numble Christmas or something, but I'm not going to keep this. I'm also going to change the file type from a PSD, which is a Photoshop file, to a JPEG. And the reason for that is because a PSD sees multiple layers where a JPEG only sees one. I'm going to leave it baseline standard and at the highest quality of 12 and say OK. And I'm going to close the original file, which is the PSD, and not save that. So I'm going to go and open up the Pano1 again. Hopefully that stuff in the, yep, it's gone. So you see I have a pretty good file here. This is a lot smaller than the actual file is. It's only showing 12.5%, so keep that in mind if you're going to go print it. I usually send it somewhere and have it printed, and you can do so pretty cheaply and then get a frame meant for a panorama. I'm seeing a little bit of transparency up at the top, and it really means nothing, but it's going to bother me, so I'm just going to crop it again, get it out. So a few other things you can do here. It was a really cloudy, yucky day, and I want to make it a little prettier, so I'm going to go to image, let's check out auto tone, It's not bad. It shows up the lights more. I don't often use auto tone because it's not the best usually, but every once in a while it does a good job. And then I'm going to do contrast, same, making the sky a little bluer, which is nice. And then let's try auto color, which actually surprisingly isn't too bad. So I'll leave those, and then I think I might go into image adjustments and the vibrance. I like to make it really, the color really pops. So I'm just gonna up the vibrance, just let's do a 10, say okay, and the file's looking reasonably good. So I'm going to save it. I'm just going to call it a Pano1-final so I know it's my final file, and click save. And I'm going to again leave it at the maximum and say OK. And that's really all there is to it. So give it a try and let me know what you think.